Good afternoon to all, one and all present here. Myself, Bhairavel, Assistant Professor, CSC, hosting the session 12 of AICTE, ATL sponsored online 5-day FDP on robotics, organized by KCG College of Technology. It is my pleasure to welcome all the participants to this session. I am happy to welcome Ms. Bandana Roy, the resource of this session, going to talk about creative thinking in stress management. Let me introduce Ms. Bandana Roy to the participants. Bandana Roy, she is now founder and chief mentor at Ananya Tech Training Education and Consulting Services. Having 22 years of exposure to service and allied sector, she took responsibilities in various roles such as founder and chief mentor at Ananya Tech Training Education and Consulting Services, Chief Operating Officer in Green People, Assistant Director Training and Consultancy in Amity University, Assistant Professor and Industry Engagement Lead in IIM TOBU. Her journey so far revolves around exploring systems, processes, teams, organizations, and ecosystems to identify shades of black and gray and replace them with more shades of white by creative and innovative solutions. She has written a chapter titled Conception of Sustainable Accommodation Practices in Hotel for Tomorrow, published as a part of edited book titled Sustainability in Hospitality and Tourism Industry, Key Initiatives and Future Direct Directions by Apple Academic Press. So with this short note of introduction, may I request Ms. Bandana Roy to handle the session. Ma'am?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Welcome.
Good afternoon to all of you. I can see only around 26 participants. So are we expecting more, or this is the number of participants that we have?
No, still actually some more participants will join, and we'll send a request to our participants too. So actually they will join now.
Okay, all right. And I also can't see the chat window working over here. So can you give the right to chat window to participant? I mean, is it possible?
It is there. From there, read that. Let me show
Okay,
you.
so I won't be able to see. It says that chat in channel meeting is only.
It is there, ma'am, but you have logged in through that guest user. If you want, we can make it like one of our team user. If we make it like means, actually we can see that chat window.
Yeah, if you can do that, because then during the session, I think that is the way we can communicate. So I can get a chat right also. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to everybody. Should we wait? How many total participants we are expecting? Should we wait before beginning the session, or we should start with it?
Ma'am, myself Claudine here. Just I want to interact regarding the chat window. Yeah. Ma'am, if you want to get access to the chat window, as Mr. Bairal sir mentioned, you have to log in as a team with the team ID, ma'am.
So with a different ID. So practically that doesn't look possible. All right, but we have option of unmuting and talking for participants, right?
Yes, participants can unmute and talk.
Okay, so we will go that way. No problem at all.
Yeah.
All right. So how many, Claudine? How many attendees are expected more? I can see 31 now.
Yeah, we can. We are around 60 to 70 participants to join, ma'am. They are the process of joining, ma'am.
So should we wait for numbers to reach 50, or we should start with the session?
Yeah, we can wait for 2-3 minutes, not wait for the number to become 50, ma'am.
Sure, I will wait for another maybe 2 minutes, and then we'll. It's 14:33 now. 14:35 we'll begin.
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not getting.
After 2 minutes we will start again.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
By the time FTP 78, can you switch off the video, please? FTP 78.
Yes, fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Claudine, should I start with the session now because it's already?
Yes, ma'am. So we start with this session.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So I can hear my voice. Is there someone who is using two equipment, two platforms? I can hear echo of my own voice.
Are you using two devices, ma'am?
Yeah, I can hear two
Yeah,
voices.
then you can keep one device as mute, ma'am. The
I
mic.
don't have two devices. I think someone else has done it.
I'll do one thing, ma'am.
Yeah.
Is it okay now, ma'am?
Yes, it's absolutely all right now.
Yeah, I think
Thank
some
you.
participant would have kept their mic on. Okay, yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Dr. Claudine, and thank you everybody for giving your time. I know post-lunch sessions are generally, low in terms of energy, but we'll try to convert this session as high energy as possible. So now, because I don't have access to chat box, I would recommend that while the presentation is on, please feel free to stop me anywhere that you feel that you are missing on any word or any phrases which I have used or any explanation I have given and you don't agree with it. So unless until we are on the same page, we won't move ahead to the next slide. So I'll keep coming back to the to the participants window to understand that we are on the same page, or if you have any questions, any feedback, anything you'd like to share. Let's make it more of dialogue than monologue, because with monologue there is no point doing any kind of monologue for such sessions. As you all know, the session title is on stress management and creative thinking. So before I go ahead with the presentation, I would like to know from a couple of you that what does it mean for you? What is the meaning of stress for you? Or what is your stress management technique? Or what is the relevance of this session in your class? What is the expectation that you have from this session? If you can just unmute and talk about it, one of you or few of you, I'll prefer. Because it's very important for me to understand what is your expectation from the session before we move ahead. And what do we think about stress on the whole? What is creative thinking for us as an educator or researchers? So if you can just unmute yourself and talk about it, that would be great. Anybody? Anybody would like to say that what is the meaning of stress for you? I don't have option of chat box, otherwise I would have asked you to write down, but if you can just unmute and talk about it. Dr. Nirmala, I can see the name of the participants and maybe I can ask you. Dr. Nirmala, are you there? Anjani? Anjani, can I talk to you? Can you please unmute and share what is the meaning of stress for you? Dr. Cloudin, participants have option of unmuting, right? They can unmute themselves when they want to talk.
One participant is saying gap between expectation and reality is stress.
Okay, gap.
And another participant is saying due to some problems, people disturb and mut off.
Okay, problems, gap between expectation and reality.
Reality.
Okay. Anybody would like to further talk about it? Is there anyone else who would like to talk about it? All right. So I think with these two, yes.
Mental emotion.
Yes.
Mental emotion. One more participants have.
Okay, what do they say? What is the other feedback?
No other
Due to
feedback.
some.
Okay. All right. So allow me to share my screen before I begin with it. Now let me first share it and then.
And one more response. He's saying financial problems, family problem, aloneness.
Yeah, family relationship issues, financial issues, loneliness. Very true, very true, very relevant and very common stressors, common stressors. So now you must have understood that the things that we are talking about, there is a gap between reality and expectation. There are relationship issues, there are financial issues, there are emotional issues. So you will understand that even if you have not spoken about it, most of the issues, the stressors that we have are very common.
One is due to higher officials pressure, and another one is overloaded work like this.
So that is work related problem wherein you have pressure coming from your superior seniors. You are overloaded with the work. So if you look at it, stressors are there all around. I mean, it's not just the personal or emotional or social problem. It's there at work. It's there in society. And if you look at it, the kind of stressors that couple of you have spoken, it's common for all of us. Financial problem is a common problem which is there almost. You ask anybody, nobody is satisfied with their financial status. There is always a need for more. So and that causes stress to us. So basically in today's session what we are going to see is that a stressed mindset is very similar or very complementing to a creative mindset. We are going to look at the attributes of a stressed person and a creative person and how they complement each other and how they can, one can respond the other needs. So with that, before I start the session, during the session, I'm going to ask a couple of puzzles if time permits. But to respond to any of the puzzles, please don't use Google, don't take help of Google. Try to use your own creative self, and which I am sure that most of you are very creative with the kind of work you must have done in your own area, either in education or research or academic administration. So largely because we are community leaders, we are educators, we are researchers, we are by default creative in terms of our experience so far in our life. So we will try to use that creative self, we will try to harness that creative self to respond to the stressors in life. And so if you using Google, then that will not, the entire purpose of having this session will defeat. So let's use our creative self and see that how we respond to stressors. Also, another thing I would like to highlight before we begin the session, that our target should not be to delete or remove all the stresses from our life, because that is a too unreal an expectation. And as somebody has said, that when there is a gap between expectation and reality, there is always an issue. There is always a stress. So let's not carry an expectation of deleting stress from our life. What should be our objective, our vision, our purpose of this session is that we should learn how to welcome our stresses and how to respond to them with a positive outcome. So that is what we are going to. We are not going to say that how do I come out with financial problem, how do I come out of emotional problem, how do I take that boss out of the system, how do I stop working with that boss. Let's look at it that how do I respond to my financial stress in a way that I progress in my life. How do I respond to that particular one team member in my team who's really being very bad to me, very nasty to me? How I work with that person and yet I be happy. So that is what we are looking at in today's session. So with that, I share my screen. Is it visible to everybody? Is it visible? Is the screen visible to everybody? Dr. Sankar, if you can just unmute and you can share if the screen is.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now I start with my first puzzle. You see there are 6 eggs in this basket. I had this basket with 6 eggs in the morning. Now I got 6 of my friends visiting me. I gave 1 egg each to them. So I did not keep any egg with me. I gave 1 egg each to them, but still there is 1 egg in the basket. How come? Please don't respond to this question now. Keep thinking about it. Don't take help from Google. We'll discuss the answer at the end of the session. I'll repeat the question again. I had 6 eggs in this basket. I've given 1 egg each to each of my 6 friends. Then how come there is 1 egg still in the basket? We'll discuss the answer by end of the session. So as you know that today we are going to talk about how do we manage stress by creative thinking, and largely what we are going to talk is what is stress, what causes stress to us, what are the basic stress management principle, and then we are going to see what is the attribute of a creative thinker and the tools and technique to develop our creativity, and how do we use this creativity skill to basically address our stressors, address our the issues which we call, how do we bridge the gap between expectation and reality by our creativity. So before we move ahead, we need to really know that what is stress. The moment we talk of stress, we talk of some bad emotion, some problem, something which is causing some kind of difficulty, some kind of sadness, some kind of disappointment. Whereas if you go to literal meaning of stress, stress is nothing but a change that stimulates that, or just that works as a catalyst to increase our level of alertness. So stress is anything which is causing some kind of change in our mindset, some kind of change in our environment, some kind of change in our planned activity, and that because of which we are expected or we become more alert. So by this, I mean to say that stresses are, most of the time, they can be taken as a motivator. So either they are positive or negative. If they are positive, we take them as a motivator. If they are negative, we call them drainers. And generally, literally, this is the meaning of stress. But practically or in practice, when we talk about stress, we always talk of drainers. We talk of issues, we talk of sadness, we talk of some kind of discomfort in life. Now, the other aspect of stress is that a given stressor can be occasional or acute, can be episodic, acute, or can be chronic, depending on how frequently that particular cause is creating stress in my life. So occasional stress could be that maybe I one fine morning I get up late late, and then I reach my office late, or I miss out on my class, or maybe I miss out on some future some past promises made. So that is acute, that is like happens once in a while, and you are able to recover from there. So nothing to worry over here. Then there are certain the same stress, if you are getting up late every day, and almost every 2 to 3 times a week you are late for your work or for your class, then that becomes episodic acute, wherein you are getting used to of living in the same stress situation. It's coming back again and again to you. The same cause is creating some kind of unrest in your life. And the last, which is very deep rooted, which is chronic, is generally because of some past experience or some childhood memory or some something you have experienced as a child or while you're growing up, that particular situation or that particular person has become reason of your unrest or your discomfort. So that becomes chronic stress. Now, as we know that the stress can be taken as positive or it may become negative depending on the outcome that we arrive on it, it's important for us to just brush up or just have a quick look at what all can cause stress. As you all have discussed earlier, various reasons of stress. We can largely divide them in 4 different sections. The first one is the environmental one, which is eventually becoming the key concern for most of us. The pollution, the kind of climatic changes that is happening, the way we are dealing with the environment, that all is creating stress in a long term. So if look at some when we were growing up or like when we were kids, environment was not a key concern. We could breathe easily. There were not so many people with respiratory problems, not too many such issues, elements related to the cleanliness and hygiene was happening. But now we all can see that now there is so much of noise. People who are staying in the main the central locations of cities, they are unable to have good sleeps. They are taking help of some kind of added medication or some kind of effort. They have to put in effort to actually get a good sleep. So that is causing stress in their life. Then social stresses, like somebody mentioned, relationship, relationship with your bosses, with your family, with your neighbors, that may cause stress. Mental stress, I was having this same session 2 days back, and one of the participants said that I see so many people posting their productivity videos or achievements on the Facebook or on Insta, and they talk about it. They write how creative they are, they write what all they are doing during pandemic, and that is giving me lots of stress. I feel I'm just wasting my time, I am doing nothing. So then I asked her that, are you good in baking? She said, no. Are you good in anything? So yes, I write very well. I am a poet. I am a photographer. So I said, then you start, if that is your aspiration, if that is causing you under, so you need to identify. Your issue is that you don't have skills, or your issue is that you are not sharing it on social media. So whatever is, first find the cause of stress, or you're just thinking about it. It's not a great thing. People are not judging you because you're not sharing it there. So you need to identify, it's done by people or it's your internal journey. And then she identified that it was she who was thinking so much about it, that social media may play a very important role for her image, her self image, or her image in the society. Whereas society is actually not really bothered whether you are posting on social media or you're not posting on social media. So many times these stresses are self-created also. We get negative thoughts, we have biases, we have perceptions, and that causes stress to us. And then the last one, which is very important. Why? Because we don't realize it can be stress unless until we suffer from it or we see somebody very close to us suffering. Illness, lack of sleep, aging. Aging parents was never a stress for me till last year. But this year things happened with me, with my family. I saw my dad going very unwell, who was always being a pillar of our life. And then I saw that, then I realized that today my biggest fear, my biggest stress is the health and aging, my aging parents, which I never realized till last year. So this can be another cause of stress. Now, before we move ahead and we move to creativity, as in how creativity can support a stressed mind, we need to understand the common stress management strategies that is being shared with us for years together. People ask us to relax, go for vacation, take a break, take a nap. go for a walk. We are told to regenerate, come up with new ideas, new projects, start writing a book, cook something in the kitchen. We also know that at times we feel like reorganizing ourselves, getting our desk done, doing our cupboards fine, looking at our relationships and organizing our relationship, which relation is important for us, which is not, which is creating more problem than giving me comfort. So you need to reorganize your life at times. The other strategy could be rewarding yourself or rewarding people who are contributing in your life. Many times we forget to say thank you. We keep expecting that we get thanks from people, but we are unable to say thank you to others. And that, if you start working on that, just by saying thank you, you are kind of rewarding or acknowledging the effort of the other person. So that is another strategy that can help you to manage stress. Or if there is some there is some chronic issue which is not going, from your life, which is coming back again and again, which is creating some kind of problem, that could be a situation, experience, or a person. So now you need to sit, look at it, and resolve it. Now when we talking of the resolving strategy, you always have to look at it as a third person. Looking at it as a third person means, suppose you have an issue with your spouse or you have an issue with your neighbor. So if you are, keep thinking or keep addressing the issue as you will always talk from your point of view. You'll be biased towards your own self. The way you look at the situation, the way you understand the situation, the way you understand the core issue will always be influenced by your own thoughts. So what you need to do here is you leave yourself there and you look at your neighbor and go have a holistic view, have an aerial view of both of you. So it's a third person view or an objective view. And when you look at yourself and the other person as someone else, you'll be able to understand the other person's perspective also. You look at the entire thing as a movie. You will understand whatever statement you have given and the other person has given a statement, what does he mean? Because till the time you don't move out of the situation yourself, you won't be able to understand it from all the perspectives, and then you will be able to resolve it. So any problem related to, be it with your bosses or be it with your, most of the time the relationship issues, you will be able to handle if you try to resolve it not when you both are shouting, or one is shouting and one is into self pity or some kind of guilt. Try to resolve it when that situation is done somehow. Move out of it, have an objective view, and then try to resolve it. So these are a couple of strategies, stress management strategies. Now if you look at all these strategies, one thing is very common, that you are asked to redo the thing. You are asked to find solution of a given problem. Now before I move ahead and I talk about the creative mindset, how the stress management techniques are related to creative mindset, I would like to understand if we all are on the same page. If what I have discussed as of now is you're convinced on that, or you have something to add to it, you want to ask something, with a question maybe that has come to your mind and you want me to address that particular question, feel free to unmute and ask. Feel absolutely free to unmute and ask. I'll be able to answer it now before I move ahead to the next part of our presentation. Anyone? Let's create a dialogue here. Let's talk to each other. Otherwise, it will become just another session wherein I've come with a theory, a principle, and I try to push it on you. I don't want to push it. Let's take this understanding together, walk hand in hand. The more you talk, the more meaningful outcomes, the meaningful impact of this session will come out. Yes. Are we all there? I'm waiting for someone to talk, someone to, maybe you can just talk about one of the experiences related to whatever we have discussed. You have faced something in life which you'd like to talk. Anyone? Dr. Nirmala, are you there? I was looking for you some time back also. Would you like to add something, Dr. Nirmala? Yes. Chirag Desai, are you there? Chirag, would you like to talk about your thought on stress or the stressors that we have spoken about? Are we seeing anything, Dr. Shankar, in the chat box? Is there any question in the chat box or any response?
No, ma'am. No.
Nothing on
Yeah.
chat box also. Okay. Anjani, are you there? I can see Vinod. Vinod, would you like to talk about the stress management, techniques that we have spoken about? Your thought on that or whatever experience that you had about it. All right, so silence either says that we are on the same page, or it says that at least if one of you can say that we all are on the
Ma'am,
same page.
got one response from FTP 110. High pressure or tension or depression.
Okay. Dr. Shankar, what was the question that you said? What was the high pressure?
High pressure or tension or depression.
Okay, so are you talking about the causes of stress?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, this is a question that has come.
I think it's not a question. They were just typed. FDP 110, can you please unmute and you can say so that the speaker can understand what you are trying to convey.
Yeah.
Mr. Shyam is saying reward most important factor that will reduce stress.
Okay, reward, yes. Reward always not necessarily from the from others for us, but also from us to others and from us to our own self. Self-rewarding is the best technique. Now, this reward can also be in terms of taking a vacation or just going for a movie or just going for a good, evening out with friends or family. So reward not always in terms of material, but also in terms of the quality of life or the quality of moment. We can create some moments for us, and that kind of reward also can help us to manage our stress.
Ma'am, taking sleep will reduce stress.
True. Having a sleep of anything between 6 to 7 hours is a mandate. In the last session, one of the students said that, I'm able to take less number of hours. I'm able to sleep only 3 to 4 hours because I'm doing two courses, hand in hand. So is it all right? Because at the moment, I'm fine with just 3 4 hours. So what I recommended her that maybe today you are fine with 3 4 hours, but eventually it will start reflecting on your health and you'll get used to of so long hours of working. So tomorrow when maybe you are not in your healthy self, or maybe not you are in so high energy self, or maybe you have got more responsibilities in life, that is the time you will feel, your body clock will become so that you will not be able to for more hours, and that will impact. So you need to give some kind of rest to your internal body organs, your entire energy, your process, and that is why a daily sleep of anything between 6 to 7 hours is mandatory. Even if we have to compromise on our couple of other things in life, maybe watching TV, maybe going on so many WhatsApp groups, or maybe binge watching one of the Netflix series, we can compromise, we must compromise on all of that, but having a good sleep is a mandate of a healthy life, because it may not reflect or show out results in younger age or immediately in short term, but in long term it has got lots of relevance to it. It's about changing your entire body clock. So we are meant to have a sleep of 6 to 7 hours with a normal lifestyle. So and once in a while if you are unable to sleep, that's not a thing, but generally you should practice that at least 5 days a week you are having a good sleep. to have a more productive. Your productivity multiplies if you are having good sleep at night. Yeah. Any other question?
Thank you, ma'am. No.
Thank you. All right. So with that, I come back to the presentation. Now, because the class is a bit in silent mode, I want you all to do one thing. I'm going to talk about a couple of creativity techniques. The first technique I'm going to talk about the perspectives of life. While I'm talking of that, I'll give you a certain example of one of the stressors in life. What you need to do is, while the presentation is on, think of some current issue or a stressor in your life and let me know after the session that how this particular session or this particular way of thinking has changed your thought in terms of managing that particular stressors. So maybe you are having a relationship issue. So when I'm talking of that technique of handling your relationship issue, you need to tell me after the session that what are the perspective you have been thinking about and how this particular technique will help you to resolve your relationship. All right. So when I come to that slide, I will remind you of this exercise. Now we have seen largely there are 5 types of stress management strategy, and each stress strategy is asking you to look at solutions of your problem. Redo your same process and look at it how you resolve your problem. Now we look at creativity. If you look at creativity, is nothing but our ability to look at problem differently and come up with solutions and identify the final solution which you want to follow to solve the given problem. So a stressed mindset has got problem, and a creative mindset is looking out for problem to resolve and to find solutions. And that's why I said that a stressed mindset and a creative mindset they both are quite complementing in nature. So now we look at a couple of attributes of a creative mindset. A creative mindset is very, very curious. And if you look at a stressed mindset is also very curious. The cause of curiosity is different. The cause of curiosity here is, or the purpose of curiosity here is, in creative mindset is that you are looking for some new, some unresolved, some not well traveled ways to start working on it to come out with beautiful solutions. A stress mindset is also very curious to find out ways how to come out of that stress. If it's a financial stress, a stress mindset is curious to know how do I come out of my finances? How do I have more money? How do I create more assets? How do I come in a situation wherein I don't have to say no for nothing in life? So here their attribute of being curious is same. They are complementing each other. A creative mindset seeks problem because continuously they have to have new areas wherein they can work. People who are very deep into research, you'll see you have finished one paper and you start writing the other. Many times you're writing 2-3 parallel papers because now you have got hooked to finding problem and then coming to solutions of the same problem. And a stress mindset is full of problems. So here again, a stress mindset has got something which creative mindset is looking for day in, day out. So what you have to do is you have to just use that stress mindset attribute to brush up, to influence, to increase your creativity. A creative mindset enjoys challenges, and a stressed person is full of challenges, has got challenges on almost all the aspects of life. So what better complementing situation than this? Stress mindset has got challenges and creative mindset enjoys challenges. So what you have to do, you have to just give this challenge to your creative mindset and let it play in its own way. A creative mindset is very optimistic. They always believe that if not this 101st solution will be the final solution of this problem. And a stressed mindset looks for the optimism. A creative mindset is optimistic. A stressed mindset is looking out for optimism, some ray of hope, some area wherein they will get some solution for the problems that they have in life. So again, here there is a kind of a give and take relationship. Then a creative mindset is non-judgmental. They don't judge that this person won't have solution to my problem, or this person won't have this skill set because I've heard so about this person, or I feel so about this person. They always go and check out the opportunities, the experiences, the environments, and people to understand that what best solution can come out of this situation. They will not go and say that, oh, I have heard that, this vegetable doesn't go with that vegetable. If I am a creative chef, I will experiment. Let me first try that whether they both work together or not. So a creative mindset is totally non-judgmental based on what they have experienced in past, or what they have heard, or what they have seen people doing. And a stressed mindset is full of judgments. What if? They always think that this person, they feel that entire world is targeting them. When you are stressed, you feel that everybody is trying to get rid of you. You will feel that everybody is eyeing you. You will feel that people are jealous of you. So you are full of judgments about your surrounding. So here one needs to be non-judgmental to come out of stress, and a creative mindset is non-judgmental actually. So again, they are very supportive to each other in terms of the attributes. Imaginative. A stressed mindset and a creative mindset, they both are highly imaginative. We all imagined loss of job, loss of close ones, getting infection, missing out on our social life. All these imaginations were done in March 2020. And we are sitting today, most of our imaginations, fortunately, they don't exist. Still, there are set of other fears, but the fears which we imagined, the situation which we imagined in March 2020, most of them are no more there. So we have learned how to manage those situations, how to manage those limitations of life which happened due to pandemic. A stressed mindset is imaginative, and a creative mindset has to be imaginative to get the solutions that they are looking at. So again, they are very similar to each other. And last but not the least, perseverance. A creative mindset needs to keep doing the thing till the time they get the solution. And a stress mindset has ensured that we'll keep thinking about the biased, judgmental thoughts, imaginative, the fears, because they are so used to of being in that space of negativity. So they both have perseverance. One has got perseverance to find the solution. One has got perseverance to be in that situation. So one is not willing to move out of that situation because has got hooked to that negativity. One is doesn't want to come out of that situation because is looking forward to a solution. So again, their attributes are very similar to each other. So now, as we have understood a creative and a stress mindset and how they are complementing to each other, we move to the next slide and we understand that where this term creativity came from. Creative thinking was first introduced in a book called The Mechanism of Mind by Edward de Bono, where he spoke about how we need to explore different ideas than just being fixed to one particular idea. How we should keep thinking of the possibilities in a given situation till the time we get just the right answer. So now we come to the creativity technique. There are many techniques by which you can brush up your creativity, but here we are going to look at these creativity technique from stress management point of view. So I'm largely going to talk about 4 creativity technique, out of which the first one is my favorite and has created most of the largest impact in terms of resolving stress. That is called reframing. And this is the technique I want you all to practice while the session is on. So while you actually listen to the theory and the examples that I'm going to discuss, parallelly you keep thinking about any current problem in your life, any current drainer in your life, and how by using this technique you can get a different perspective of that entire situation and find out a solution or find out a way to reach to your solution. And then after this, once I have discussed this technique, I will come back to you and we will share it. Please don't disappoint me, unmute and talk at that time. The other technique is brainstorming, mind mapping, and insight. So these are the 4 larger techniques we are going to talk about. We begin with reframing. Please keep your thought buttons on. Think about it. Don't just think about the example which I'm sharing. Think about it, any current issue that has happened in your life or which you are facing, the challenges you are facing now, and how you can apply this technique to resolve those challenges. So the first technique is reframing. Reframing is nothing but changing frame of a picture. So if you are in a situation which you are not liking, how by changing its frame you can get newness to it, you can start looking at it differently, and you can convert that same black and white thing into a more attractive thing. We do it often, with our childhood pictures, with our family pictures, if they are black and white or they were taken some 20 years back and they are fading now, they're not going with the theme of the room. But at the same time, we don't want to get rid of it because it is associated with lots of memories. We are not capable of coming out of those memories. We are so hooked to it, we have to have it. So what do? We change the frame of the same picture. We put a new nice, wooden frame to that picture. It starts looking new, starts going with the theme of the room. The same thing we need to do with our problems. Instead of looking at it only from our point of view, we start looking at it from different perspective. Just with the frame of personal perspective, we remove that only our personal perspective, we add many other perspectives to it. And then when you look at it, many times you'll feel that the problem doesn't exist, or you'll feel that there is some other problem, this is not the core problem, or you'll get some solution to it, or you'll get some help to resolve it. So how do we do it? What I have shown here is product planning people potential perspective that is used in the business world. I'm not going to quote this example. I'm going to look at it from our personal stressor point of view. And as somebody has mentioned in the beginning of the session, lack of financial stability. That is the core cause of stress in our life. Especially I've done a couple of these sessions with the educators and researchers. Basically in our sector in education, I feel this is the key concern that most of us have. That is lack of financial stability. So there are various causes. We see that we are not able to give the education, the kind of education we want to give to our kids. We are not able to take care of health of our problem because maybe we are too busy, or we don't have that kind of resources, or we can't afford that kind of investment or insurance plans. We see that we are unable to do the kind of vacation which somebody else in other sector is doing. So that all these things make us feel that, oh, we have lack of financial stability, and that is the key cause of our stress. Our relationship gets affected, we are never satisfied, we always keep looking for opportunity to make money, and the entire focus on the core purpose for which we have come into education shifts. So now we need to look at this problem from reframing technique point of view, and we will see that how do we address it. So now instead of looking at it what you don't have and what you have, first any problem, first you must have your personal perspective about it. Look at it from your point of view, that is it a real problem or you are being over ambitious. So you look at your needs and you feel that, oh, my child is going to a good school. Last year I had gone for a vacation. I'm making plan that 3 years down the line I'm going to go for so and so tour. I've already investment in our house. I'm staying in my own house. My parents are quite capable of taking care of themselves. I have got a decent vehicle. So whatever are the criteria for you, whatever are the things of a financial stability, and you will feel most of the time, 70% of point of time, that it's actually not that problem. Then you'll feel that if all these problems are not there, if I'm really taking care of me, then why do I feel so dissatisfied financially? Or you may find that you are not doing well. You may feel that you want to send your child to some other school and the child is not getting the right education. Maybe you'll feel that you have not created enough assets. So after personal perspective, either you will feel that actually there is a problem, or you'll feel that this is not the problem. If actually there is a problem or there is no problem, now you need to look at it from some other perspective. That could be people perspective. Now people here is your family, your colleagues, your neighbors, your relatives, and you can look at it not just from taking their point of view. You can even look at them from a support system point of view. You can look at them to know if they have some solution to a problem, if they would like to guide you on something. Or you can also look at that, is it because my so and so cousin or my so and so friend or classmate has moved to so and so places, or has moved to so and so society, which is a very highly influential society, that is why I'm feeling like that. So when you start looking at it from people's perspective, either you'll get solution, or you'll get to understand that you are maybe getting influenced by others. After that, you need to look at your potential perspective. If you still feel that, you know, there is some problem, you need to look at that. Are you in the right job? Is this job, you know, do you need to have a parallel career option? Do you need to learn new skill set to identify opportunities? So now by this time, you will start feeling that as of now, you are just thinking of that I have issue, I have issue, I have issue. But when you start using this technique and start looking at others' perspective, you'll feel that you are actually moving towards the solution. Your stress has gone down. Why? Because now you are thinking of options in life. Now you are spending time with others. You'll also see that your relationships have gone better. Why? Because you are taking people's help. Like in my life, as I mentioned that, you know, this year I saw lots of challenges in terms of my dad's health. My mom was unwell, and apart from taking care of my professional and personal aspiration, suddenly I saw that I have to take care of my parents' aspiration also. Fortunately, they stay in the same campus. So now, when I was doing all of it, I felt that 24 hours are too less for me to perform so many responsibilities. And that is where I shared it with my daughter, not with an expectation that she's going to support me. I was just sharing to vent it out that I feel that I'm unable to do it because as of now I have been so time disciplined. Now suddenly I'm feeling that I'm missing out on many things. And I was talking to her, definitely that connected both of us. But at the same time, I got a solution also. She said that while you are taking your sessions, I can go and visit them, offer them fruits. I have to take them for walks. So what you do the day you have your sessions, I will go and do, and that actually resolved the entire issue. So I had enough time now to take care of both the things because I got some support system. So support system not necessarily will come from somebody who can do you, give some kind of financial help to you. It can also come up with somebody who cannot support you financially but will give you some other kind of support, will give you some other kind of idea, or will just listen to you and help you vent out your issue. So then that becomes a different perspective. End of it, you need to also look at it from planning perspective, that am I spending too much, or am I a good am I making right investment choices? Do I know the different investment tools? So should I take somebody's help? Do I talk to some consultant? So many times maybe our incoming is really nice and we don't need to do anything, but we need to actually look at how do we save it, how we look at our expenses. Maybe we are shopping every day. I'm not doing a weekly and monthly planning. I'm not doing budgeting. So then if you start looking at all of it, end of it, when you have looked at so many perspectives, you will see that either that problem actually doesn't exist, or even if it exists, you have got lots of support systems and ideas to now address it. And that will take you out of the stressed mindset and you'll become a more productive person, because now you know that what to do to come out with the solution. So this was one example. Now, apart from the 4 perspectives I have spoken over here, there are many different perspectives, which one of it you can use for any given stressor. The meaning of it, that you know what it means to me. Is it the real problem, or there is other issue which is triggering it? Is this stressor is just a symptom? The right cause of my stress is something else. Or you can look at the context, that maybe in this year this is how it is going to be. Next year this problem is not going to be there, and last year this problem was not there. So maybe you can understand the context and understand that how this particular issue will automatically get resolved. You can add, adding humor to a given situation. Maybe you have an issue with somebody, just going to, yeah, and just with the laughter saying, oh, just let's forget about the past, and let's move on. So just adding some humor, some enlightenment, some kind of light moments can also give you perspectives to the same problem. Looking at the options of solution is another perspective. There is always a silver lining in any issue, and this year has actually showed it to all of us. We all are able to do so much of productive things, so much we have added in our career, in our skill set. In terms of our relationships, people have really come close to. Even with social distancing, relationships have gone very strong, because now you had time to sit and reflect about each and every relationship. Give time to them, say thank you to people, sharing credits with people. Just thinking of your childhood memories, getting closer to your siblings and your cousins and your family members. So there you have to identify the silver lining, that what best can happen. Now I am in this situation. This is not going to change. So what best I can make out of this situation? What is the best option that I can see in this given situation? Then listening to others' point of view, discussing with others, asking them that how they would have dealt with this situation, taking help of your colleagues, asking them that if they had this personal issue, what they must have done, talking to your spouse and parents that if they had this professional issue, what they would have done. So that will also give you perspective. They'll be able to tell you that, that you may have, done something wrong, or they may tell you that, no, you are going right. You don't have to feel guilty about it. So then you share, and the advantage of sharing things with others is that your relationship parallelly is going stronger with that particular person. And you can also see, maybe you idolize your father or your spouse or your one of the colleagues or your bosses or one of your teachers, and you will see that how they would have approached this problem, or how you saw when your father, when you guys were growing, how your father managed his finances, how your mother managed her house. So maybe that can aspire you to just copy how they manage their life and come out with a solution. So this was the most important creativity technique that can help you to manage your stress. Now, before I move to rest of the three techniques, I would like to, understand from you all. One of you or few of you can unmute and say that, you can discuss one of your current issues. And if you are able to identify the perspective, or you can ask me. So then I'll be able to give you more examples on this technique, which is the most important and most useful technique to manage your stress as a creative thinker. Anyone, if you have any question or life situation, you just feel absolutely free to ask here. Maybe not with you, somebody close to you or somebody in your office. If you're seeing somebody facing any such problem which you feel can be handled with a given perspective, or you can ask me, I can help you doing that. If anybody wants to unmute, or if you're getting any question in the chat box, Dr. Sankar, please help me with the chat box question, because I'm unable to see that.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm giving a pause of maybe a minute over here. Think about it. Think of the perspective. See how you can resolve your problems. Resolve the stressors that you have by using this technique. Anyone? Anybody would like to add something over here, or you want to talk about it? Feel absolutely free. Dr. Sankar, have we got any question, or I should move ahead?
No question.
No question as of now. I am trying to create a dialogue. Can I hear from someone if you have any concern over here which you'd like to discuss? Anybody would like to talk over here? Anjani, you are there? If you can just unmute and just say that if we are on the same page. Yes or no, Anjani? I'm taking names of people who are on the main screen. Anjani, can you just unmute and talk? Anjani. Okay, so I think it's not possible, or maybe is not there after logging in. All right, so I'll move to the next part of the presentation. I'll talk of brainstorming. Um, Now, if you look at this particular strategy here, we talk about the different ideas, different thoughts, what can be done, what cannot be done. If we do it, what will happen? If we don't do it, what will happen? So we can do it with the team, or we can do it in person. So the advantage of doing in person is that when there are many people sitting and discussing different ideas and ways out, then what happens before actually you tell your entire ideas, there are 5 different people who are talking against it. So none of the ideas are actually you arrive to completion. Ideas are, they die before they are born. So team brainstorming should always follow a silent brainstorming. So what you do, you give a given problem to all the team members. Now these team members could be your office colleagues, could be your students in the classroom, or could be people back home. You can share it with your family members that this is the problem. So you all think about it today, and make a note of what all can be done, and tomorrow we sit together and we see that what actually we need to do. So once everybody has identified the ways out in person without talking, just talking to self, then you have a brainstorming session with your team members, or with your family, or with your class, and then you shortlist all the options wherein there is a common thought, and then you identify based on the common consensus option 1 and option 2, follow option 1 and keep option 2 as plan B. So that is one way of resolving your issue. Here, if you look at it, I talk about negative brainstorming. Negative brainstorming is wherein you don't look at solutions. You just talk about the problem, that what will happen if you remain in that given situation. So maybe I am very unhappy with a given person. So I say that no, I remain unhappy with the given person. I don't want to find the ways out to be happy. So what will happen? I will get distant with that person. What else? My health will suffer. What else? Maybe I'll become too bitter with others. What else? Maybe for other people related to that person, I will get distant from them. What else? Maybe it will affect my productivity at work. So when you think of so many what ifs and what will happen because of that situation, that will motivate you to not to remain in that situation, move out of that situation. So that is called negative brainstorming, wherein you don't think of solution, but you think of that what if you remain in the problem, what all may happen, and that entire scenario of distress, that entire scenario of fear and expected disadvantages will push you to move out of that situation, and you'll arrive to a solution. So this is the brainstorming technique of creative thinking to manage your stress. The third one is the mind mapping. As mind mapping is done in many of the research processes, and this is one of the tools to identify solutions when you talk of logics and reasoning. This can also be used to manage your stress. So here in mind mapping, what you do, instead of going linear in terms of writing our ideas, we go center to the end of the page. We identify what is the key stressor, and then we talk of the possible ways by which it can be dealt with. So maybe the increasing weight is giving me stress. So there is one way that I go for a diet. The other way is that I start a morning walk. The third way could be that I join a gym. The fourth way could be that I do a combination of it. But while I proceed on each of the area, I'll see that there are a couple of things which I cannot do. Maybe I'm so used to eating, I can't go for a diet. So what do I do? Can I move to the greens and more, healthy food options? Yes, that is doable. So I go with that. Maybe getting up, I'm not a morning person, or in the morning, maybe I've got classes, or I've got responsibilities back home. So I go for walking option. I don't have time for gym, so I can't go for gymming. But yes, in evening, 1 hour, I can go for maybe a yoga session or whatever. So then I do a combination of the diet option and the yoga option. So this was just an example of how do you manage your weight related stresses. The same way you can create this mind map for many other issues in life, and you can find the outcomes. Then comes insight. If you look at this bathtub, it reminds you of that eureka moment by Archimedes. So this particular formula which he got in this bathtub was not just outcome of that particular moment. He was working a lot much before it. For years together, he was trying to reach to the final solution. It was only at that moment that all the solutions, all the things that got aligned, and he got the final formula. The same way, we have to develop that insight to understand the situation, especially in terms of the chronic stressors, that why is the same thing happening again and again, and it's causing me problem. So if you start having an objective view of that given situation, if you start looking at it time and again, and you see that this is maybe the cause, or maybe this is the perspective of the other person, or this is maybe my bias. So once you keep looking at it, next time that situation comes, now because you have thought so much about it, you have worked so much on it, and you have taken help from the right people, that at that moment you would know that how to respond it, so that this does not create a stress to me, or you would actually know that how to avoid or how to minimize that situation to occur again and again. Once, so that is called insight, wherein if there is a cause which is creating lots of stress to you time and again, you start learning to avoid, not really avoid, but manage that particular stress and minimize its impact on your mindset. So that is called insight. So these were the four creative thinking. The first one was reframing, then brainstorming, then mind mapping, and then insight. Now, as we are empowered to practice it and manage our stress by these techniques, now it's our responsibility, it's our social and professional and personal responsibility to empower others. When I'm talking of others, it's just not your family, your friends, and your community. It's also your students, your colleagues. So both work and personal life is what I'm talking about. So here I'll give one example of how do you empower your students or the people whom you are leading. Basically, wherever you are leading as a community member, maybe as an educator or a researcher, or maybe as a student, how do you manage others while empowering them? Here, first of all, it's very important to understand their aspirations. What do they want to do in their life? Why are they coming for your classes? What makes them, come to you time and again to take knowledge or to understand lesson, or they just idealize you, or maybe they want to learn something else. So you have to understand their life aspirations instead of creating an aspiration for them or imposing our aspirations on them. We have to learn that what is the aspiration of rest of the people around us. Then giving open-ended project, allow them to come up with new ideas, explore new options in life, giving them options of doing something out of the box, something out of the core subject, something out of the core profession. So that will help them to develop perspective. Asking them to come up with new ideas about how to conduct a given work, how to conduct a given project. And asking them to come up with new ideas does not mean that you accept it all the time. Welcoming ideas means you listen to it, tell them why it can be done, why it can't be done, and then tell them that how to go about it. Instead of just saying it's a rubbish idea and don't talk about it, this is a stupid thing to do, you tell them that okay, this is a great idea to begin with, but these are the hurdles that may come into it. So what is your plan to fight it out? So when we become encouraging, then they are allowed to think new, and the more they think new, they will start having perspective. They will learn to work with diverse group, work with different type of people, then talk, working with the same team of people. So the more you are able to interact with others, the more you will be able to come out with perspectives. Then also it's very important for us to tell others what cannot be done, but not to demotivate, but to tell them that see, this is not possible, this cannot be done. You may not get a high paid job 2 years down the line looking at the job market, but there are ways out. So why not you're looking at some additional skill set also you are learning? Why not you are looking at some self-employment opportunity? Why not you are looking at doing some entrepreneurship course? Or why not you are interning with a startup, so that tomorrow if you have to start with your thing, it will be easier journey for you. So always highlight the limitation with a work plan. And most important is having an interesting classroom. I have written classroom because I'm talking from student educator point of view, but otherwise also is, having an interesting work environment, adding lots of stories, lots of experiences, more of application based thing, including everybody in the delivery process. So then it becomes, that co-owners of the situation comes, and also it becomes interesting. People like to be in that environment, to be with you and to engage with you and learn the more of the creative ways of living your life. So this was all about the creativity and the creative thought process and how it helps you to manage your stress. Now I come to the first puzzle which I had asked in the beginning of the session, that in this egg basket I had 6 eggs. I have distributed one to each of my friends, 6 friends. Still there is 1 egg in the basket. How come? Now it's open for answers. I will still request that to unmute and talk of the answer. Don't take help of Google. Think about it and give me the answer to this puzzle, that how there is still 1 egg in the basket even if I had given all the 6 eggs to my 6 friends. Anybody? Anybody has the answer?
Other one reply. Yeah.
Yes.
The last friend was given egg along with basket. Mr. Shyam is
Who has answered it?
Mr. Shyam. M. Shyam.
Okay, so now at least for once, can we all unmute and clap for him? This is the right answer. The last friend has got the egg with the basket. So that is how there was still an egg in the basket. This is the answer. So can we all unmute and clap for Mr. Shyam? Finally. Have we all unmuted and are we clapping for Mr. Shyam? Dr. Sankar, have we given right to people to unmute?
Yes, ma'am, they have the rights.
I see here that, but I'm surprised why nobody is unmuting. Is there some technical issue?
The thing is, the participants, if they have logged within with our username and password, then they can use their chat box, right? Otherwise, they won't. If they have logged, that is the thing.
Okay.
They have logged in using by our username password.
Okay, so they can't unmute. So they can only write in the
No,
chat.
no, ma'am, already we have
Yes,
unmuted.
Divakar.
Yes, ma'am, already we have unmuted for all participants. If they want to speak, means they can unmute and speak, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Divakar, you wanted to say something. I saw a raised hand there, Divakar. Yes, you can. Yes, Dr. Rajshekhar, you can talk. Yes, Dr. Rajshekhar.
So can you please unmute and talk, sir? Dr. Rajsekhar, can you please unmute and speak, sir?
If you're facing any difficulty in unmuting Dr. Rajshekhar, if you can just write in the chat box and tell the technical team, so they'll help you with it. Are you facing any problem in unmuting? Then just write in the chat box.
But here we have given all
I
the
know,
participants
but I'm surprised to see that nobody's unmuting. So if somebody can write in the chat box, do you have the unmute option, Vashi?
Byron, sir, give the rights to unmute.
Sir,
Unmute, sir.
sir, unmuted, sir. You can also check with that name list, no? From there, all the participants are in unmuted only.
See, there's
So they can,
telling.
we have given the participants to unmute.
Sir, Byron, sir, mic is disabled for all.
But here,
attendees.
so you can see, sir, that all participants list is there, no? And that's list itself that mic is on only. They can unmute and speak.
On your own, you can try and unmute.
So anyone, participants, can you please unmute and...
They cannot. Dr. Rajashekhar is saying that they cannot unmute. Unmuting option is not there for them. Dr. Sankar, is it possible at your end to unmute them? At times it's, it's
So
getting switched.
now, sir, now
Yeah.
Dr. Rajsekhar, can you please try, sir?
Yeah,
Yeah, now it is unmuted, Dr.
now
Rajsekhar.
it is unmuted.
Now I'll hear people. So first let's clap for Sham because he had given a right answer. So all of us, let's use this opportunity to unmute and clap for him. All of you please unmute and let's clap.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
This is Shyam, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Sham. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now there is some life and I expect that lots of dialogue will happen. So as of now, you all could not talk. So first of all, before I move ahead with the next puzzle, that's a very interesting puzzle that I have. I want to ask anybody has got any questions or anything to share about stress management, creative thinking that we have spoken today. Please unmute and you can talk now.
Yeah, I have one small thing.
Yes.
Usually, if you see, don't feel bad. By
Yeah.
default, bosses will give the pressure.
Okay.
How to eliminate? For example,
Yeah.
again, don't feel bad. 1.5 hour, we people are sitting in the settle program.
Okay.
So, what creativity we have to use to avoid it? If that is the question.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Rajashekhar, the question is that to be when you are asked to do a particular task which you don't want to do and you are pushed to do that, then how to avoid that? That was the question, Dr. Rajashekhar.
Yeah, see, for example, I want to participate in this program,
Mm-hmm.
and 1.5 hour I am leaving this your program.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know without spending this 1.5 hour. See, if
Mm-hmm.
you see online classes, I am also professor. What student does we are doing today? Our students will log in and just they will keep quiet. Same thing is happening here also. I feel only few professors will be listening. Others they will log in and they will go off. Again at the end they'll just give the feedback.
Okay.
Same thing happened to our students also. This online class is something. How to avoid this? But sometimes we will be well prepared for 1 or 2 hours, and our students will not be enthusiastic because of
Okay.
this online. Offline somehow we will bring in because there
Okay.
is an eye contact. We will pull with our eye power. But what about this online? How to pull? That is
How
why
to make
many
it
are.
engaging? How to
Yeah,
make
that
it
is why
engaging?
many are not responding to you. That is why.
See, people who are not responding to me when I asked, I think there was a situation with the mic also. That was one. Second, see, here again I have to understand what is the aspiration of the session, and that is why in the beginning of session we generally ask, being educators, that what is that the students or the participants want to take out of it. So if you're not getting an answer for that, then because we have planned, we have got some aspiration, we are enthusiastic about the session. Our enthusiasm should not get deterred because somebody else is not having the same aspiration. That is why I said that it's very important for us to know what are others' aspiration. So if you have an aspiration to conduct this particular session, and I don't feel that continually I was thinking it's because of some technical glitch. Otherwise, I have never experienced such that people don't interact in the class. And see, now we are interacting. You are talking to me, and that is my success. And your one of the student also talks to you, that is the success. Because if there are 100 people, that is not the entire effect of class is not divided by 100. Effective class is 100 into each one of it. So even if one responds, one interacts, your purpose of your aspiration creating an impact, your aspiration of bringing a change is made. So even if I'm talking to you, and I'm sure many of you wanted to talk because of technical glitch, but that is totally my aspiration. I look at it class at my class from that point of view, and also it's an opportunity for me to give
Yeah,
my
no, that's
message.
right, madam.
Yeah.
I am just want to know from you. Class of 60, like you, even we will be teaching online. It's very difficult to pull all the 16 online. Offline, we know. We had that control all these days.
Yeah.
The online is new to everybody, including
Yes.
students also.
True.
So how to pull here?
Yeah, so I'll share a couple of techniques.
Okay.
Now, the best
And
part here is
also,
that,
any information we give, within seconds they will answer. Like you mentioned, no, when you showed a basket of eggs, immediately you told, don't go through Google, you told.
yes, yes,
But our students will not do that. We want answer, they want to answer. So they will Google in mobile and they will get immediately.
yes.
See how to come out of this.
All right. So, Dr. Rajashekar, I agree that technology is new to all of us, and there are certain advantages, there are certain disadvantages. So now, if I give you my example, and then I will come to your concern. So today, in last couple of months, I mean, if not less than at least 10,000 participants I have already addressed, and this number I could only achieve because morning I am doing one part of the India, and in the afternoon I am doing the other part of India, which was actually not possible without help of technology. Now, how do we, first the question is, how do we pull the crowd together? So you have tools like having the chat option on, wherein you keep talking to them, keep asking them questions about it. Then the other option is to, after every 5 minutes, have some kind of dialogue. Try to get into some dialogue, share, let it be dialogue. As I said, the third thing you can do is, instead of you doing the presentation all the time, let the class make small groups of people and take their help to do the presentation. So it's not that they are only presenting and you are just going and just marking the attendance, but actually involving them in the entire class delivery process. Ask them to come up with example, ask them to come with ppts, and you be equally impactful. So maybe not if all 16 or all 60 of them, maybe a part of it you will be able to pull through. The other thing could be that you can tell them that the presentation, the sessions, attendance will be only given, the reward policy, attendance will be only given if you are able to fill in this particular form every 10 minutes in the class, and have a small quiz happening there. So there are many such interactive tools which we can use. But end of it, I agree with you that technology has limited our control over students in terms of asking question. If I asked you not to take help of Google, so I told you the reason. The reason was that your creativity will not work. So purpose here was not to get any other reward, but to brush up your creative mindset. The same way you can tell students that so and so answer you can take help of Google and give, but you understand that answer will not fetch you any marks. I'm asking you to think about it so that your thought process, your analytical skill, your logical skill is brushed. Also, we have to remember one thing as an educator: knowledge is nobody's copyright today. What we are teaching in the class today, the same information or a better information most of the time is available all over on net. What makes us different as an educator or as a leader is how we are giving that knowledge. What I have spoken about creativity, stress management, nothing is rocket science. You must have heard of it maybe 100 times. But if I was able to create an impact, if I was able to make some change in your life, I was able to give some answer to a stressor in your life, or maybe I was able to give you one ray of hope that yes, it can be done, that is my success. That is where I differentiated. That is my USP. So as an educator now, education is knowledge is not our copyright. They get it from Google, they get answers from Google, they are not getting it from Google. That is totally not our botheration now, because that we cannot control. We'll be just wasting our energy by trying to control that. So what we have to look at is that how we can evolve with our skill set as an educator, our passion as an educator, our own discipline as an educator. So even if there is one student, we should have that delight that yes, today I achieved it. 99 doesn't come, doesn't matter. My purpose was not to give my knowledge or my passion divided by 100. It was 100% for each one of them. That is how I look at it as a creative thinker. That is how it will keep me happy. That is how it will keep me going. That is how it will keep my passion going on. So that was my 2 cents on it, Dr. Rajshekar. I hope that somewhere justifies or somewhere responds to the question that you have asked. Yes, Dr. Rajshekar.
Yeah, okay, we know the answer. Okay, fine, thank you.
I know you are not very convinced with it, but I request you to just look at it one thing at a day, one student at a time. It is a difficult time and it's not going to remain like that forever. Tomorrow they will come back to the classroom, they will be facing each other, and it will be definitely easier for us to manage them, to make changes in their lives. But at the moment, this is the best that we can do with our available resources. So why not to focus on our passion, looking at our skill as a leader, as a change maker, and that will help. Any other question that we have? Any other question? Yes? Anybody would like to unmute and talk about any question or any feedback or any experience that you have related to it, which you have handled in a different way or the same way? Or anybody has a response to Dr. Rajashekhar's question? You also must be facing the similar situation. So if you want to discuss as in how you handle it, how you are able to manage your students in a better way. Anybody? Now we don't have any technical issue. Now you can just unmute and talk.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yes, yes, Chirag. Chirag, you wanted to say something? All right, so I assume that there are no questions as of now. So I come back to the last riddle. I hope you will be able to get answer for it without help of Google. So this is a bridge riddle. What happens, there is this bridge in one of the jungle safaris and there is a family of four. So they go for a jungle walk, and by the time they cross this bridge and they come to the other side, they realize, oh my God, this is not safe. There are zombies all around. So now they have to come back to the other side of the bridge, but now they have limitations in terms of crossing that bridge. They need to cross it only in 17 minutes. Now, the father will take minimum 5 minutes, the mother will take minimum 10 minutes, son will take 1 minute, and the daughter will take 2 minutes to cross the bridge. And there are two issues also. The first issue is the bridge can only hold two people at a time. So this is a very old time bridge. If more than two people get on the bridge at one time, the brick will break and they will fall down in the water. Or if they don't cross it within 17 minutes, these zombies will come and attack and they will actually, the entire family will finish. The other limitation is that there has to be one lantern while crossing the bridge. So one person out of these two who are crossing the bridge has to have lantern in the hand, and then only they can walk over the bridge. Not, I mean, without lantern, if you walk over, again, you'll fall in the water because it's gone pitch dark and they can't see a step now. So what is the recommended way out to actually resolve this issue, that they cross the bridge in 17 minutes? You have got 3 minutes to think about it. Whoever gets the answer can answer it first. You can just unmute and answer, or you can even share in the chat box, but I'll prefer that you unmute and talk about the answer. Is the riddle clear to you? If you have any question, you can ask about the riddle. Any question about the riddle, you can ask. Otherwise, just solve it without help of Google and let me know that how in 17 minutes they are going to cross the bridge. You must have resolved many such puzzles in past. This is just one of those, but just think about it. It also has got couple of life lessons. This puzzle has got, so if somebody wants to talk about those life lessons after resolving, you can even share that. Whoever is able to resolve it, just unmute and you can talk about it. Or if you're not comfortable about talking, you can just write in the chat box and I request Dr. Sankar to share the answer with me. You need more time to solve it, or anybody is done? Whoever is done can just share it. Okay, so I'll just share the answer. I see that, people are not ready to. So the first one is, first option is that son and daughter will go with the lantern in 2 minutes. The son comes back with the lantern in 1 minute, so you're 3 minutes gone. Then the father, so son, waits the other side. Now father, mother with the lantern, they cross in 10 minutes, and the daughter is back with lantern in 2 minutes. So this time coming back job is done by daughter. And then at last, son and daughter, they cross the bridge in 2 minutes and total 17 minutes, and they disconnect, they cut the bridge, and they are off the zombies. So this was the bridge riddle which I shared with you all. I actually, when I talk of stress management and when I talk of these creative techniques, I am able to, talk up to many of my personal stressors, and I am able to come out of it. So that was my interest point, and that was my, takeaway from the session. I'm sure that most of you must have had, some or the other impact which this particular session will create in your life. And I look forward to hearing from you all, maybe not on this platform. You can even write to me. I've shared my email ID. If you have some feedback, or if you want to contribute in this area, or you can share some experience with me, that would be a great reward for me from this session. Even if we did not speak much, but thank you, Dr. Rajashekhar, for coming up with the point, and thank you, Sham, for the riddle that you solved, the egg one. And thank you, Dr. Sankar, for the session. Now I'll take your permission to leave it for the day.
Thank you, ma'am. Bhairav sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful speech, ma'am. On behalf of the management and department, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Madam Ms. Bandana Roy for accepting our invitation and sparing her valuable time to share a wonderful session on stress management. Really, it was an exciting and insightful session. I strongly believe that the participants learned a lot, and it will be useful for them in their day-to-day life to overcome the stress. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
I thank all the participants for your participation and attention. We are closing the session. Join back 10 a.m. for the session on intelligent automation. Thank you, ma'am.